The problem of evil. Put in general terms, the problem is this. How do we reconcile the existence of God with the existence of evil? Now, put in argument form, here's kind of the stock problem of evil. Premise 1, if God is all good, all-knowing, and all-powerful, then there should be no evil. For obvious reasons. If he's all good, he would tolerate no evil. If he's all-knowing, no evil could hide from his sight. And if he's all-powerful, then he could eradicate any evil. Premise 2, evil exists. Conclusion, God does not exist. Now, there's also an alternative conclusion, which is this. It's that God is lacking in some way. That he's not all good, so he allows evil to occur. He is not all knowing, so he doesn't know that some evil is occurring, so it's happening, he's unaware of it. Or he's not all powerful, that evil occurs and he cannot stop it. Now, of course, the worst conclusion from the standpoint of believing in God is that God does not exist. But the alternative conclusion can be problematic as well, because, again, the usual philosophical conception of God is that he's, all good, omnibenevolent, that he's all-knowing, omniscient, and all-powerful, omnipotent. And so there is that challenge. Now, the problem is taken so seriously by religious thinkers that there is a aspect of religious thought, also philosophy, called theodicy, which is the attempt to solve the problem of evil. Now, our focus, of course, is on the philosophical approach to it, and looking at our good dead friend Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. Now, Leibniz's part of his claim to fame was his rather interesting and even unique reply to the problem of evil. So let's see what Leibniz has to offer us in this regard. So famously, Leibniz says, this is the best of all possible worlds. And the writer Voltaire wrote a novel called Candide, in which he mocks Leibniz's view. Somewhat ironically, Voltaire and his work Candide is more famous than Leibniz, at least outside of philosophy. So what does he mean by this is the best of all possible worlds? Well, he's not claiming, because this would be foolish to claim, that each single event or individual being taken in isolation is the best thing conceivable. To use the most obvious example during this pandemic, the coronavirus is clearly not, the best thing conceivable. And the pandemic is also clearly not the best thing conceivable. So he's not claiming that individual things are the best, because that would be foolish, because it would be easy to refute him, because someone could just point to, pandemic. They could point to, all sorts of evils that routinely occur. So his claim is not that every single event, every single being is the best. His claim is that the entirety of the world, from creation to end, is better than any other possible world. Hence, the best of all possible worlds. On this view, God had a myriad of worlds, a vast number, an infinite number of worlds to choose from, and chose this one. Now, this is written about in his work, The Monadology, that God makes a choice. Although, in a way, he must choose only one way, even though it's a choice. So here's how he works it out. According to Leibniz, there is an infinity of possible universes in God's ideas. So to use an analogy, it's like God is playing his, God Box 1, his video game, and he's wondering, which world to create. And being God, he knows, all the possibilities. He doesn't have to go on, YouTube or Twitch to find out what's the best. Now, Leibniz puts a very particular limit on the number of universes. There's an infinite number of possible universes in God's ideas, but only one can exist. He only gets to pick one. So, going back to his talk about sufficient reason, there must be a sufficient reason for his choice of one world over another. Why this world, rather than one even slightly different? So why pick our world, which is experiencing a pandemic? Why pick that over a world where the virus appeared and immediately it was cured, or it just, never appeared at all, or just fizzled out quickly? Now, his answer is this. The reason that God picks this world rather than any other is because of the degrees of perfection of the worlds. So just like picking, if you play video games, picking a particular build or character, there's an optimal, build, the best build, supposedly, for things. And God, looking at the worlds, there is some world that is better than all the rest. So that is the one that God picks. And the reason why is this. Being all wise, all knowing, omniscient, he knows which one it is. He doesn't have to go on Twitch or YouTube or Reddit to find out, hey guys, what's the best world, thinking about creating stuff. Why does he pick the best one? Well, he's good, so he's going to pick the best one. How can he make it so? Well, he's omnipotent. He's all powerful. So he makes the world. So being all knowing, omniscient, he knows the best world. Being all good, he picks that one. And being all powerful, omnipotent, he can make it happen. So this then is the best of all possible worlds. Then a good question arises, of course, again, the problem of evil. Why is there imperfection? Why is there actually active, evil? Humans committing crimes, genocide, murder, natural disasters like pandemics, earthquakes, floods, etc. Now, Leibniz has got a pretty good answer, pretty clear answer, which is this. Only God is perfect. So all created beings, including the entire world and everything in it, would be an imperfect world. So the best world is still one of an infinite number of imperfect worlds. So kind of the first limiting factor is all worlds are imperfect. There is no perfect world. There's a best world, but there is no perfect world. Now, also being a math person, the best world for him contains as great a variety as possible, but with the greatest possible order. Kind of harkening back to our good dead friend, St. Thomas Aquinas. So, put another way, the world has, niches, slots, and there's got to be stuff in there. So it's imperfect, and of course, there's going to be things in there that are bad. But again, the question kind of arises, why? Now, he offers more in terms of why. Continuing in the discussion of the best possible world,